Hey everyone, we're live right now at the Paste Studio in New York with Common Jack. Dude, thank you for being here.
Dude, thank you for having me. I'm so psyched.
Yeah. We are too. And we're going to hear 4 songs today. They're from all across the catalog. We're going to hear the new ones. We're going to hear, I think you said, is literally the first song that you wrote and put out with this project?
Yeah. It was part of our first LP, but I think it was the first song I ever wrote for this project back in 2014, something like that.
Sweet. So we'll get a broad sampling of the entire project. And can you tell us what's coming up first today?
Yeah, sure. So it's a song called Skin and Bone, and it was one that I wrote when I was living down in Brooklyn. I live in Queens now, but a girl basically was the reason I was down in Brooklyn. So this is Skin and Bone.
I feel you watching me underneath the flatbush sun. But from your grassy seat, you only see a loaded gun. Yes, we are children yet, but darling girl, do not forget that my old bones grow enough for you. Tried to keep my wit, but he ran off through the dark. Cause he heard there's something infinite hiding down in Prospect Park. So we'll barricade the slope and see what vows the breezes wrote as we dreamed so quietly. Take me home, or won't you drown me in your sheets? What's left unsaid within our heads is tangled in our feet. Oh my God, my Jessie Lee, did you ever think on how we'd be a mile above the moon? Just us two. And I'm all skin and bone, stripped of all my ancient clothes. And I'm shocked to find the real revolution lies deep within her chocolate eyes. And I am compromised. And I'm so paralyzed, I'll never be the same.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, dude. That sounds great.
Thanks.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about your how this project came to be. I mean, it's very inextricably tied together with an artist who we love at Paste, who has done this session series. I mean, he's an easy guy to love.
Yeah.
He's sort of a Yoda kind of a figure. And can you tell the story about how this came to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to college and studied acting. and I ended up doing a world tour of a Broadway show called Once, which is based on a movie by the same name, which stars Glenn Hansard and Marketa Orglova, and features their music as well. Glenn and Marketa started a band called Swell Season, and now they're off kind of doing their own solo stuff. And for anybody who doesn't know the movie or the musical or any of Glenn's music or Marketa's music, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's really amazing. But yeah, so I ended up doing this stage adaptation of the movie all over the world. I think we hit like 70 cities, did like almost 1,000 shows of it. And when we were in Los Angeles, we were playing at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood. And it just so happened that Glenn's tour with his band overlapped ours by a day. He was playing the Hollywood Bowl, which is like right up the street from the Pantages. So they worked something out and basically got him he agreed to come in and play an encore with us that night after curtain call of the show with the whole cast. And it was like a total surprise for the audience. There was no announcement about it, and it was like absolutely mental. But in addition to playing a role in the show, I was also the acting music captain, which is like the touring music director, I guess is the best way to put it. And when we found out that Glenn was coming in, they're like, well, John, as the music captain, like you'll meet up with him like before the show and tell him what you want to do. And I was like, no, I'm going to meet up with him before the show and ask him what he wants us to do. Cause he's Glenn. And you know, that movie came out when I was in high school, and it was actually, some of that music was some of the first music that I learned to play on the guitar. So it was like a real kind of starstruck moment for me. And he's just the nicest guy in the world. He I was telling you before we started this, that like he changes the temperature of every room he walks into.
Totally.
It's really amazing. So that's the story. And I was thinking about starting this band while I was in that show, and the conversation I had with him before that, I mentioned that I was like thinking about it, but not really sure. And he basically said something along the lines of like, in a very Irish way, just like, it's really frightening to lift up our own voice, but it's always worth the effort. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this now.
Nice. Good, man. Well, I'm glad you are doing it. I'm glad that happened. That sounds like an amazing experience. Very star-crossed sort of,
yeah,
one of those crazy bits of, seems inevitable in retrospect. The universe would have thrown that all together. So I'm glad that happened to you, man.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You're going to do 3 more songs today. Can you tell us what's coming up second?
Yeah, so I'm going to play a song called I Don't Mind, which is actually, we just released it about 2 weeks ago. And it's kind of a song that sprouted out of feelings of feeling like I was realizing that I was living my life for kind of external validation and kind of wanting to do away with that, I guess.
Nice.
I am done spending all my money trying to find serenity. My chest was an oil drum full of rum, and it was drowning my identity. I sold my guitar to buy myself some time, but I don't mind. No one knows my name, and I barely got a dime, but I don't mind. I'm done spinning out my wheels on a muddy road at night. It never occurred to me that I could leave and come back when the mud had finally dried. I sold my guitar to buy myself some time, but I don't mind. No one knows my name, and I barely got a dime, but I don't mind. No, I don't mind. No, I don't mind. I am done pretending I'm not spending all my days days on the run. I looked inside my state of mind and found a lake glistening in the sun. I sold my guitar to buy myself some time, but I don't mind. No one knows my name and I barely got a dime, but I don't mind. No, I don't mind. No, I don't mind. I sold my guitar to buy myself some time, but I don't mind. No one knows my name and I barely got a dime, but I don't mind. I sold my guitar to buy myself some time, but I don't mind. No one knows my name and I barely got a dime, but I don't mind. Ooh.
Nice. Thanks.
Thanks.
John.
Thanks.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you tell us, so let's take I Don't Mind specifically, talk about how a song like that, eventually the record that will be forthcoming, how are they made? Are these tunes that you write here in New York, produced here in New York? Do you do the production stuff yourself, or do you tend to work with outside producers? Or talk me through the mechanics of how such a song or such a record is made.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with a producer who's a really good friend of mine. His name is Harper James, out of a studio called DeGraw Sound that's down on DeGraw Street in Gowanus, Brooklyn. Harper's amazing. He's really great, and I've been working with him since 2016, and we've kind of really hitched our wagons to each other in a way, or at least I've hitched mine to him. No, but so I always work with him because I always feel like it is a lot better to bring in outside ideas. I personally really send myself down lots of rabbit holes if I'm just sitting by myself and doing production alone. I've got a home studio that I'll do ideas and stuff on and kind of make demos and test ideas out on, but everything that we record happens at DeGraw. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you guys have? Are you focusing on playing from Canyons, playing I Don't Mind out right now? Are you focusing on, are you writing new stuff, or what's I would imagine it's some combination of all of those things all at the same time.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a combination, but I feel like it leans one way or the other depending on the time of year, I guess. Right now I'm focusing mostly on writing and getting back into the studio and recording more. I've got a couple shows kind of in the works, but they're not like totally announced and set in stone yet, so I'm not exactly sure when they're going to happen. But yeah, a few things that are kind of come down the pipeline in February and March, but hopefully getting new music out in like February maybe.
Nice.
That's what the aim is, but yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Well, the details will all be at commonjackmusic.com when they are announced, and we have just only gotten to the halfway point. We're two in, and we got two more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. What's coming up third today?
Third is going to be a song that I haven't released yet, and I'm not sure if I'll actually ever record it. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a song called One Too Many Days, and it is. I grew up in Virginia, near Charlottesville, Virginia, and this was kind of in response to what went down in Virginia a couple of years ago with the Nazi marches and kind of what's going on in the world right now. So there's a song called One Too Many Days.
I can see you feel the need to curse another another person for your mediocrity. Love can make you feel ignored, but when you're sad and lonely, you start kicking down the door. One too many days I've seen this spectacle play out. Those home store torches burned as bright as that Virginia night was dark. I heard a voice begin to shout that both sides are to blame. I never thought I'd argue about a Nazi USA. So you came to show your face, just to hide beneath your flag and fly your misdirected angst. So try to run from what you dread. A ghost can be created, but she'll sleep inside your head. One too many days I've seen this spectacle play out, by idolizing a backwards mind with a broken heart that doubts, with dreams of rope that swings from branches high up in the trees. These little boys can't recognize that they're a dying breed. Little boys can't recognize that they're a dying breed.
Nice. Thanks. All right. Thank you, John. Can we talk about this? It's an extraordinarily lazy question on my part because I ask it daily, but it tends to elicit different and interesting responses. I mean, we're in this room with rock and roll history going back to the mid '50s. You know, you're sitting in front of Tom Petty and John Coltrane and
insane.
Dr. John, and just the list goes on and on. So it tends to be an easy room to talk about musical influences in. Can you talk about some of the artists who've been really important to you over the years?
Yeah, I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, and I have an extraordinarily boring answer to your question. Bob Dylan was the one who made me want to play acoustic guitar in the beginning.
Sure.
I went through way too much time trying to be a bad copy of him, and I still feel those impulses and still feel like I'm trying to shake that loose and get away from that. But yeah, his lyrics, and he kind of naturally led me to Joni Mitchell and Tom Petty and that whole generation of kind of icons. I think speaking more along contemporary lines, the guy who made me want to finger pick more than anybody was the Tallest Man on Earth.
Oh, nice.
His early stuff, those first like home demos that he was just recording the tape in his kitchen or whatever it was, were just like, I felt like it was the first time that I was actually hearing music. When I heard him and his voice and the way that he really digs into the instruments. So he's another good one that I definitely return to every now and then.
Nice.
So maybe kind of boring answers, but
No, dude, that's the first time someone said "Tallest Man on Earth"
Really?
in response to that
Wow.
question. I ask it a lot.
I can't believe that. All right,
It's
cool.
not the first time someone has said Bob Dylan, but it is awesome that you did say that, because I want to show you. I can't reach it right now, but under my desk, I've got a Rolling Thunder review tape with Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell on it, both from
Awesome.
1976. Just right there, dude. And
That's awesome.
And in that room is the Tallest Man on Earth, his Day Trotter master quarter inch. So this is
I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
well surrounded by your influence. This seems like a very appropriate room to be in playing these songs. So we're happy to host you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Of course, man. And so there's bonus song. We've got a fourth coming up today. Can you tell us what's going to be last?
Yeah, so this is a song. This was the lead single off of our new EP, which came out this past summer. It's an EP called Canyons in the Dark. But this song in particular is called Viñales, and it is based on a trip to Cuba I took back in, I think early 2017. It was like in that brief window when Americans could go, because I think we can't anymore. They've reclosed the border, but we went and we're in Havana for most of it, but we'd always heard about this farm town out west called Viñales. And we had fun in Havana, but it just felt a little bit like, a city. The cars are iconic there, but we really wanted to kind of get outside of the kind of centralized capital and see what else there was. And Viñales really knocked us off our feet. It was really, really beautiful. And, it was so cringy. I was like finding myself the whole time I was there, being like, wow, this is such a great experience. Travel's like really changing me. I want to write a song about travel. I'm like, how great it is. and when I got home, I was trying to write it and it was just terrible. It was like taking itself way too seriously. But it was an idea I couldn't really get out of my head. I was like, I have to write a song about going to Viñales, but I can't make it not be terrible. So I finally got fed up and was like, you know what? I just need to like get something done just so the idea is out there and gone and I can just forget about it and throw the song in the trash. So I'm just going to write lyrics that are just listing what I remember most. And that's it. I'm not going to put anything else into it. It's just like a list. And I finished it and I was like, I actually kind of like it.
Nice.
So, this is Viñales.
Far away, losing track of time, smoking cigars we dipped in honey, finding new ways to spend our money. Along the way, trying to read the signs, walking the back streets and the pathways, past the tobacco fields and bad days. All the way out here, you could almost start forgetting things are not as they appear. Driving west down the mountain range, well, I never could quite get its name right, 'cause you're catching my eye. Under an open sky, in the backseat of an old sedan, they ran along the seaside to ease our lonely minds. Oh, honey, it was a dream, music floated up. Was it all a scene of distant lovers? Were we only hiding under covers? Close your eyes, try to soak it up, 'cause no matter who we follow, they're probably gonna kick us out tomorrow. All the way out here, you could almost start forgetting things are not as they appear. Driving west down the mountain range, well, I never could quite get its name right, 'cause you're catching my eye. Under an open sky, in the backseat of an old sedan, they ran along the seaside to ease our lonely minds. Oh, honey, all the way out here, you could almost in the backseat of an old sedan. They ran along the seaside to ease our lonely minds. Oh, honey,
All right. John, thanks for coming in and doing this, man.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Yeah. So Common Jack, the single that's out right now. I mean, all this music is out. You played one that was unreleased.
One that's unreleased, yeah, forthcoming.
I Don't Mind is out in the world right now, and so we will continue to stay tuned to commonjackmusic.com, which is where all details will be for upcoming shows, for upcoming music. But Canyons in the Dark exists. That's out in the world right now. We heard one from that, and dude, we really appreciate it. And travel safely through all your travels. Whatever comes up next, we'll very much look forward to it. And thanks for leading us into the weekend like this.
Absolutely, yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.